Alright, so I'm back home after going out and getting some footage of the new Korean Reef. You can see on my screen here, those are the waypoints and recordings I made while I was out there. But the whole time I was shooting side imaging, that way I knew when I get home, I can make waypoints on the boundaries of the reef and really make it stand out. So next time I do trolling passes, I'll know exactly where all four sides of it are. So I'm playing the footage back here. I had my side imaging out to about 170 or 160 feet because I wanted to see as much as I could so I could map the boundaries of the reef. As I'm approaching here, you can see some of the drag marks, maybe anchor marks from the barge that was out there, and now the reef is coming into view. So as soon as I get some edges in view here, I'm going to pause the screen with my cursor. And then I'm going to move my cursor over and try to get the corners and the boundaries of it, maybe every 50 or 100 feet, depending, how big the structure is. When you place a side imaging waypoint like this, it'll show up on your map or your chart, exactly where it is on the chart. That's the beauty of doing it with side imaging, because if you're just doing it with your boat position, you're just marking where the boat is at the time. You can really fine-tune your charts by moving your cursor to the borders of weed beds, riprap, obviously the reef, any piece of structure that you want a detailed chart of, record it, and then back home you can really map it out precisely. So next time you're going ice fishing or casting or slip bobbering or trolling, you can pick one side of it with your boat to go over the structure and the other side just off the structure. That's how precise you can get by mapping it this way. So as I go further and further, I'm just going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep mapping the boundaries every 50 feet. Let it play back a little bit until I see a new edge, and then I'll pause it. Now remember, with side imaging, it's like a flashlight shining left and right. If it bounces off something tall, it's going to cast a shadow. Here you can see I'm marking the very bottom of the reef. It's in the shadow, you can barely see it, but that's where the reef actually ends and touches the seafloor. Over here's a corner. But you can see that's like a ridge. That's the highest point that the sun are reflected on. There's still some rocks over here, except they're lower than that point, so it casts a shadow on that side. So once again, I'm just going to move the cursor over, drop a waypoint on this edge, move it over to the left and drop a few more. And then we're going to start seeing the reef take shape when you switch back to the normal chart GPS view. So once you're done mapping this pass, you want to go back over that structure from a different angle or a different direction or in a different spot. And the beauty of it is, if you zoom out your side imaging, you'll be able to cover, I'm covering 250 feet here. I don't have to drive my boat directly over the structure. Use your side imaging to record it, go back home and drop waypoints on everything you can see. Alright, here's some footage we shot over the reef that day. And now all there's left to do is to export all of your navigation information, all your waypoints, to your SD card. Then you can download a free program called Hummingbird PC, and it lets you edit all your waypoints much faster than you can on your unit. All I want to do is change all the little snapshot camera icons back into normal waypoints I use. And then once I do that, I'm going to import all of those waypoints back from the PC to my unit. Actually, as soon as I put my SD card, it's going to ask me if I want to. And then we'll be able to see what it looks like after we took all those side imaging waypoints. So I've just imported all those waypoints. I'm going to zoom in now and let's see if we can see where this reef is and what it looks like. So then you can see those are all those side imaging waypoints I dropped. It doesn't matter what order you do it because they're all geo-referenced. They're GPS points. So they're going to line up regardless of when you took them or what direction you were going. That's the beauty of side imaging. It's referenced to GPS. So those are all the waypoints, and I'm going to give you guys all four corners, so at least you'll have the basic shape of it.